Okani in. Who else will be in? We have a list. We're going to talk about the players on this list on this live edition of
Hoops from the Hills, and you just made the list.
Hold on. Where's my pen?
Yeah.
I just made the list. There's my little thumbs up button. All right. What is up, guys? Welcome, Mountaineer Nation, college hoops fans, to another episode of Hoops from the Hills.
Hoops from the Hills.
Thank you for joining another episode here. I know we are competing with the NFL draft, so we try not to keep you on here too long so you can get back to hopefully seeing Zach Frazier get drafted later tonight. So, Toby Okani, we were doing the live stream last night. There was kind of a false alarm that he had committed. It finally became official this morning. He is committed to the Mountaineers. With Toby Okani, when you read the analysts on him, basically he's an extremely, extremely good defender, like elite defender, but pretty much the opposite of that on the offensive end of the court. He's not very good offensively, not a good shooter. He has the ability to be, but so far in his career he has not been. But he's so good on the defensive end that he is definitely someone good to have on your team. He's a 6'8" wing player, so his length creates a lot of havoc for other guards. He blocks a lot of shots, gets a lot of steals, that kind of thing. So, Paul, what are your thoughts on Toby Okani?
We are really threatening to have a backcourt that just is going to wreak havoc on people. Really. I mean, when you pair up Sincere Harris and Toby Okani on the same front side of the defense, man, that could be significant. You know, think about what Houston did with guards like that last year, and that's kind of the same kind of talent level we're talking about. Now, are one of these guys Jamal Shed? I'm not saying that because Jamal Shed can give you 30, but if either one of those two guys progress into good offensive players, you're talking about. I'm confident that both of those guys will be all Big 12 caliber defensive players and watch enough film to see. And if you go and see like Mike Casazza just interviewed a guy that played for Illinois, played with Chester Frazier. Thank you, David Cummings, for that. Played with Chester Frazier. If you haven't seen this interview yet, it's amazing. Mike asked some really, really good. He asked the guy some really good questions.
Mm-hmm.
And among them was about Sincere Harrison and Monty Hansberry. Although this is about Okani, Sincere Harris, he said, changed games as a freshman. Changed games. He said he's absolutely one of the best defenders he's ever watched. So I just think the pairing is so exciting. And like I said last night, it's easier to lean in the defense early. And I think that's what they're doing here. Okani hasn't played the same level of competition as a Sincere Harris yet, but he does project to be a top flight Big 12 defender and a guy that could probably get his name to the NBA conversation if he can improve his 3-point shot.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because listen, the mechanics are there. They really are.
Thank you, David, for the $20 donation. Just keep everything up you guys are doing. David, we appreciate you. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you for the donation there. And we got had Chris Gerald says everyone like the video. Chris, thank you for posting that in the chat. Also, there's a lot of other guys that West Virginia's looking at. Pretty much the chatter has been, when are we going to get some bigs? When are we going to get some bigs? There are a couple bigs on a list that was put out by Rivals today with a list by Keenan Cummings. And some of the names on that list, well, the first one on the list really is a guy that most of us already are familiar with, and that's Aton Wright. He's a shooting guard from Drake who visited West Virginia, I guess not this past weekend, but the one before.
Feels like a month, 2 months ago.
Huh?
Feels like 2 months ago now.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It was April the 12th through the 14th, but yeah, you're right, it does. But Aton Wright, the guy from Drake, guard from Drake, everybody kind of expected he would have already committed by now, but he hasn't.
Yeah.
He's on the list. And Paul, stop me anytime you want to as I go through this list. We obviously talked about Javon Small last night on our show, the point guard.
On Aton Wright, I do have a correction to make myself. Remember, we were told, Chris Anderson even reported this, that Aton Wright was supposedly possibly visiting Tulane, right? We heard that.
Right.
He was even in Louisiana. Turns out that he wasn't visiting Tulane. I was basing that off of the tweet that Chris Anderson put out,
right?
Which is usually like 100% right,
Right.
He amended that later and said no, he was actually visiting somebody, family, whoever in Louisiana.
Gotcha.
So the worry was that, obviously it's still moving up a level if you go to Tulane from Drake, probably pay too. But at the end of the day, I really do believe Aton Wright is a secret sauce that we need on this team, and I wish. Obviously, Coach DeVries knows him well enough, and I think defense is the question here with him because he absolutely tore up Washington State, was the best player on the floor. That includes with Tucker on the floor that day. We know now that Tucker eventually needed surgery, but he stepped up in his place. And I just think he would be huge, especially as a sixth man coming off the bench, somebody that can give you 18 or 20 if you need it. He's done it against the competition. I know he can. He's an excellent player. And truthfully, if we had to start him, I wouldn't be mad. He's good. He's really good. I don't know what's going on with it. I've asked a couple people, sources, and they said, we've heard nothing. So I don't know. He hasn't visited anywhere else. Maybe he's taking his time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is kind of puzzling. We got Javon Small that we talked about last night, the point guard out of Oklahoma State. Would be a huge get. He's a true point guard, which this team needs. Elijah Hawkins is a point guard out of that is transferring from Minnesota. He's a native of Washington, D.C., so it'd get him closer to home. He began his career at Howard, where he started 55 of 59 games and helped lead the program to their first NCAA tournament in 31 years. Hawkins then transferred to Minnesota, where he spent one season and averaged 9.5 points and 7.5 assists per game while shooting 39% from the field, 36% from three. He'd originally declared he would be staying with the Gophers and then changed his mind and entered the portal. Any thoughts on Hawkins, Paul?
He's a good player,
Yeah.
Would love to have him. We need more like him for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have any intel on him or anything.
Right.
I guess time's going to tell him that.
Yeah.
Tosh said in the comments really quick about Aton Wright, and he's a good defender. He's good at getting steals. He had 34 and he was out Cal State Northridge. Not exactly sure what he had last year at Drake, but he's just undersized. And so against the bigger guards in the Big 12, which there are a lot of, I personally feel like he would be a little bit at a detriment there. That's what I mean, Tosh.
Yeah.
He is good at getting in the lane, getting steals, though. He just doesn't have the elite, the kind of length you're trying to look for. If you're trying to build a starting five that really gets after it, I mean, he like I said, would I be mad if he started? No.
We got Chaz Lanier, a point guard from North Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a good one?
Oh, yeah.
Look at his numbers. 19.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.8 assists.
Well, listen, man. You bring a kid like that in, you're talking about he's one of the only kids left out there that can challenge Tucker. He doesn't have the size that Tucker has, and being 6'7" is such a big deal for Tucker. But if you want to talk about somebody who could be a 1B, this is it. Like, seriously, this kid is extremely talented. Everybody's going to want him, so be waiting for that. But if I believe he's worth the money, the big money. I watched a bunch on him today. He's going to get picked up by one of the blue bloods likely. But we'll see. We've stolen them before, so
Shoots 44% or shot 44% from three last year.
yeah, he's very good.
Has 1 year of eligibility left. Real quick, before we forget, let's give a shout out to our channel sponsor, Dutch Miller Automotive.
This episode of Hoops from the Hills is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time.
With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for.
Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com, or you can come in person today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you.
Timothy Green says, if you don't shop Dutch, you pay too much. Way to go, Timothy Green. I like it.
That's actually their actual slogan. So that's pretty cool that you know that, Timothy. Are you from the area? I'm curious to know. I've got to get my screen grab of that. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Sorry, guys. We're screenshotting this bad boy. All right.
Our sponsor enjoys seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a way for us to show, hey, look, you're not just paying us for nothing. People actually like your product.
He lives in Boone County. So, yes, he's very familiar. We'll keep going down this list. We're not going to break every one of these guys down. We're just obviously Paul's free to break the ones down he wants to, but if we break them all down, we'll probably be here for 2 hours. We've got I mentioned Chaz Lanier. We've Ken Evans Jr., another guard from Jackson State.
Right. Good player.
Was SWAC Player of the Year.
Yep.
After averaging 18.8 points and 5.4 rebounds per game while shooting 39% from three. You've got Trezarian White, a power forward. So there's one, there's a forward, a power forward, 6'7".
This is the one I want.
This one?
Yep.
He went to junior college at Texas. They moved to North Carolina, Wilmington. He was there for 3 years and saw his numbers jump in each of those seasons with the program. That was capped off this past season where White averaged 19.8 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game while shooting 49% from the floor and 39% from three. The Texas native would have 1 season of eligibility remaining and has been contacted by West Virginia.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to him?
Not much I can add there, but he's just exactly what Darian DeVries is looking for in a bigger guy.
Yeah.
That can really spread it around. He can rebound. He's a plus defender. He could stretch it. We're probably not going to be the biggest team under Darian DeVries. I'm not saying he won't get big players from time to time, but he'll take the versatility.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've looked at and researched on the kind of teams he's put together. But it's hard to say what they want to do in the Big 12 because they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So I do think they'll add at least one big guy, 6'10" or 6'9", 6'10", somebody that can rebound.
Yeah.
Size isn't, rebounding is another deal where it's kind of like playing offensive line, right? It's all about body positioning. A lot of times, if everything's everything, technique wins, Yeah. And Hugs had the best rules when it came to rebounding, inside and opposite. Big fan of that. So we've lost Couz.
I'm back. Had to feed my dog real quick. All right.
You fed him that quick.
Well, I already had the bowl of food ready to go. I just had to put it down. We've been having ant problems here. So if I leave the dog's food in the bowl too long, we get a bunch of ants that swarm it. So I have to put the food in the bowl. And if she doesn't eat it right away, I have to put the food up on a shelf somewhere. And then when she comes back around, put it back down for her to eat. Yeah, it's kind of aggravating, but yeah, we're having ant issues lately, so I've got to keep everything up out of the floor. And you got and I can't spray because the spray is poisonous to the animals, to the pets. You know, it's like, so how do you get rid of the daggone ants?
When I was in California visiting my granny, this is off the topic, but they had they've got the biggest ant hills you've ever seen. They're like sometimes 20 feet tall. They go into this big cone.
Yeah.
And they had two kinds, at least that I remember. They had black ants and red ants. And my cousin and I would make them fight each other because they're like that big. You know, you can get them on a stick. You can take a big black ant and throw it in the red ants pile, and they'd all try to drag it down into their hole.
Right.
We had so much fun doing that. We were probably training to be serial killers.
That's funny. I like some of the comments are really good tonight, guys. I really enjoying reading some of the comments. Look at Larry B's got the ant emojis. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bait food. I put bait, and that's the thing. They're poisonous too, man. Anything you put down, you got to be careful. You know, the pets can get into it. So. Yeah, I've got some of that, I don't have it now, Curtis, but I know what you're talking about. But the problem is I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, back to the list. B.J. Freeman, a small forward, 6'6", out of Milwaukee. Went to junior college in Dodge City for a couple years. Then went to Milwaukee. During his first year there, he averaged 18.2 points per game on 40% shooting and increased those to 21.1 a game, 42% in year two. Has a number of suitors already, and the North Carolina native will have one season of eligibility. It looks like a lot of these guys on this list are guys who only have 1 to 2 years left. So I like the way he's balancing it. He brought in Harris. He brought in Hansberry. Both of those guys have 3 years left. Obviously Neve, assuming he's staying, he has 3 years left. So looks like he's trying to balance his roster. Obviously, the kid from KJ Tenners are going to be a freshman. He'll have 4 years. So I like he's now going after some more veteran guys to try to balance the roster out a little bit, which you need to do that.
Yeah.
You got Ezra Assar, another power forward, 6'8" power forward out of East Carolina, who's a sophomore. Spent 2 seasons with the Pirates. He averaged 11.4 points last year and 4.7 rebounds while shooting 51.4% from the field and 37.5% from three. Appeared in 64 games during his time. Started 44 of those games. Has 2 years of eligibility remaining.
And he's already been in contact with West Virginia. Now, I wonder if the contact is, if you'll remember, the previous staff was in contact with him. And early on in his recruitment, it was reported that we had already set up a visit or we're in contact with him, and it turned out that was the previous staff. I wonder if I'll have to reach out and see, but I wonder if, if that's being reported from then or if it's new. They got a new relationship with him because I'll tell you what, if East Carolina could have retained their talent, think about this. This guy, Javon Small, who's now at Oklahoma State transferred, and No Farrakhan were all there at one point. Could have all been there at the same time. They've been pretty good. Just those three. You'd be excited about that team coming back.
Yeah, that would have been cool. The next one on the list is, all right, we finally got a big. Everybody's going to be happy about this one. Carlton Lingard Jr., a 7-foot center from UTSA. Started his career at the junior college level and then moved on to Kansas State, where he spent 2 seasons. Then moved on to Texas San Antonio, where he averaged 9.4 points, 5.9 boards, while starting 26 out of 31 games. The Texas native would have 1 season of eligibility left and has heard from West Virginia.
Right.
Any thoughts on him?
He's a 7-footer. To be 7 feet tall, only averaging 6 rebounds a game is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, agreed.
I
noticed
but
that too.
It's all about emphasis. What do you have your players do, right? I think that would probably be the reason they're bringing him in. That rim protection.
Yeah.
7-footers are automatically rim protectors, just because of their size.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know for sure, but if he was brought in, it would probably be for depth, but possibly to start, maybe.
Maybe.
What a name for a basketball player.
Yeah, really.
We've been
Next
hearing
on the
about this guy for a while.
Jameer Brickus.
Yeah.
5'11" point guard out of LaSalle. He's a senior, so he has 1 year of eligibility left. Spent 4 years at LaSalle, so he's, this will be his first transfer. I like that about him. Loyalty. Appeared in 119 games. He's a Pennsylvania native, so we'd get him closer to home. Well, no, wait a minute. LaSalle's in Pennsylvania, isn't it? Where's LaSalle? I can't remember.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest
Anyway,
with you.
I may have been wrong on that, but nonetheless, it's coming off a season where he averaged 13.9 points, 4.8 assists, 3.5 rebounds per game. Not bad for a guy that's 5'11". Shot 43% and 40% from three. Wow, 40% three-point shooter. That's good. Yep. Cliff Davis, a point guard out of Northwestern State. Did you have anything to say on Brickus?
Says it's in Philly. Oh, he's an extremely good, polished offensive player. Like, trying to think of somebody to compare it to, really. He's similar to Joe Toussaint, but with the jumper.
Right.
With a better jumper because he shoots a way higher percentage. He's also smaller than Joe, but that's just who he reminds me of with his kind of. Joe Toussaint had a funny way of the way he moved. I felt like it was like it was herky jerky,
Yeah.
The way he kind of went side to side. This kid does that really well.
Okay, gotcha. We got Cliff Davis, another point guard. This one out of Northwestern State. Played 2 seasons at Chipola College, I guess, before transfer. Makes me think of Chipotle. Before transferring to Northwestern State. In his lone year there, Davis started 24 31 games and put together a solid statistical line of 13.7 points, 3.6 boards, 1.7 assists, while shooting 40% from the field, 39% from three. All these guys can shoot. All these guards are good shooters. The Georgia native has already heard from West Virginia and would have 1 season left in his career. You know anything about him?
No, I haven't almost studied his tape at all.
Right.
I couldn't get to every player on this list. Now there may be somebody down the line here that I know about. But.
Right. That's why I say I don't think they expect us to, but we can at least read off the write-up here from Rivals. Lucas Taylor, shooting guard out of Georgia State, 6'5", 195 pounds. 1 year of eligibility left, like most of the guys, has already been contacted by West Virginia. Spent his first 2 years at Wake Forest before going to Georgia State, so he has played the Power 4 level, Power 5 level in basketball, I guess. Past season, he saw a significant leap in production, starting 31 of 32 games, averaged 14.4 points, 3 boards, and 1.8 assists, while shooting 40% and 35% from three.
It's wild how you jump up in production and you can go down a level.
Yeah. Well, anytime I see a guy who went from Power 5 down and is trying to come back up, it concerns me a little bit because there had to be a reason he went down a level, right? You think. But they could have developed and gotten better. So you can't necessarily assume they're not any good.
Yeah.
Otega Owe from Oklahoma, actually, 6'5", 215 guard. Owe spent 2 seasons with the Sooners where he appeared in 60 games and started a total of 37. He's from New Jersey. I see a theme here. New Jersey native entered the transfer portal this offseason and almost tripled his scoring output from his first season at 11.4 points per game. Owe also grabbed 3.8 boards and shot 49% from the floor and 38% from three. 2 years of eligibility remaining.
Yeah, he's a good player. You'll remember from Oklahoma games.
Dylan Mitchell from Texas. I think I remember this young man. 6'8".
This would be an
forward.
absolute dream for us to get. This dude here is a menace on the boards.
Started 71 of 72 games in his career at Texas in his 2 seasons. And his numbers this past year were 9.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and a steal a game while shooting 58.5% from the field. Was a highly recruited prospect during his initial recruitment, and the Florida native should have plenty of suitors with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining.
This would be a dream one. That would be a dream to get him.
Yeah, agreed. Anthony Delorso from Campbell, a sophomore point guard, 6'6" point guard at that. He's a native of Melbourne, Australia. Was named the Big South Freshman of the Year during his first year with the program and followed that up, earning second-team All-Conference. Delorso averaged 19.5 points and 6.5 rebounds per game and is an intriguing option in the portal given his size and skill set. He has 2 years left in his career at the next level. Seydou Traore, power forward from Manhattan.
It's Traore.
Traore, sorry.
That's okay.
Seydou Traore from Manhattan, a power forward, 6'7", 215, freshman. 11.8 points last year at 8.2 rebounds and 2.3 assists during his freshman season. Kiki Tandy or Kai Tandy, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Not sure on him.
Jacksonville State, 6'2" point guard. Spent 4 years at Xavier. Was injured during his final 2 years. Then went to Jacksonville State. Had a breakout campaign starting all 32 games and averaging 17.8 points and 2.6 rebounds and 1.4 assists. Shot 39% from 3.
Yep.
And he's from Kentucky, so again, someone close to home.
Yeah, we have been in contact with him, I was told earlier, so I don't know where it's going or if he's going to come, but we have been in contact. On the guy before, though, you might recognize him. If you watch any Jose Perez film, this is where you've seen Seydou Traore.
Makes sense.
On that court with Jose Perez. That's where I knew him from immediately. He looks way bigger than 6'7" on the court. I'm going to tell you that now. I thought he was like 7 feet tall. Turns out his arms are just like insanely long. I think he played the 4 and the 5 for them too at Manhattan. I thought it was the 5 for some reason, but he looked really long and lanky on the court.
Yeah.
I really liked watching him play ball, man. He's a good player.
I knew that name sounded familiar. Huh?
I was looking at the next guy.
Oh, okay. Cameron Hunter?
Yeah.
Point guard from Central Arkansas. Why does All right, here's some trivia for everybody in the chat. What famous player came from Central Arkansas? You all ought to remember it. Let's see who gets it right. I know Paul knows.
Right.
Paul's the college guru here. He knows wherever every player went to college. Let's see who gets it. In the meantime, we're going to read his thing here. 6'3" point guard, like I said, from Central Arkansas. Spent 2 years at Central Arkansas where he was named first team All Atlantic Sun. In both seasons after averaging 14 points as a freshman, 16.7 as a sophomore. Hunter also averaged 4.9 boards and 3.8 assists while shooting 43% from the floor, 80% from the foul line, and 32% from 3. He's looking for a fresh start and has already heard from West Virginia. He will have 2 years of eligibility left. Now here's one, Lacina Traore, a center, a 6'10" center. So here's a big from Long Beach State. Started his career at St. Louis, moved on to Long Beach State, where he put together 2 very productive seasons. Traore started 67 to 68 games during his time there and averaged 12.4 points, 10.4 rebounds, so a double-double machine during those 2 years while shooting 53% from the floor. Talented big would have 1 year left. You know anything about this guy?
No, not I saw what you just read, brother.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't sound familiar to me, but we got a couple Power 5 guys coming up. Devon Smith from Utah, a point guard who averaged 13.6 points and 6.3 rebounds and 7.1 assists and 1.1 steals in 28 games with 21 starts. Wow. He also played, he's played at 3 schools already. Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, and now Utah. And he's in the portal again, and he's a Georgia native and has 1 year of eligibility left. Then we got a Duke player, TJ Power, a power forward, 6'9" power forward from Massachusetts. He's a native of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Only averaged 2 points a game last year for Duke, but again, he was a freshman. So but he was a very talented and very highly touted recruit at a high school, apparently. So they're hoping a change of scenery will do him some good. You got Vashawn Alette, a point guard out of Old Dominion. Jalen Spear from Florida A&M. See. Doesn't say his position. Elijah Malone from Grace College. And Darnell Evans from Caldwell. I'm assuming those are Division II schools. But anyway.
Florida A&M, I don't think Florida A&M is, are they?
No, the last two, Grace College and Caldwell.
Right.
Florida A&M.
Well, it says Grace College is an NAIA school.
Right.
Jalen
Spear
Caldwell.
Florida A&M. The kid from Florida A&M spent 2 years at A&M where he was named the MEAC All-Freshman Team. In his first year with 11.9 points and 2.4 assists per game. Then he averaged 10.5 points and 2.8 assists last year. Then he spent a year at Santa Fe College before returning to Florida A&M and averaging 15.5 points. 38.8% from three. Spear is a native of Florida and will have 1 year of eligibility left and has made West Virginia has made contact. So it's a lot of names, guys, a lot to digest there. But the moral of the story is Coach DeVries and staff are talking to a lot of guys. So anybody that's worried, everything's going to be okay. There's a lot of players out there still available. And some of them will end up in Morgantown. So don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. I guess you want to make this announcement, by the way, Couz?
Yeah, go ahead. I figured we would do that, so go ahead.
Okay, we got 131 of you guys in here right now. We told you about Tucker DeVries. Hit the like button if you want to see Tucker DeVries on the show. Oh, shoot, my light's not been on the whole time. We'll turn it on for this. So Tucker DeVries has obviously through an NIL deal going to come on this show. And we're really excited about it. We've got a couple really awesome businesses that have really helped us with this. Couz, what's the name of the one that you got there?
Rogers and Mazza pepperoni rolls.
Yeah. And so we're going to have him come on. And then obviously Magic Shine, which is Sean, who's in the chat here a lot. Really good guy. He has helped us with this. So we're going to have Tucker DeVries on, guys. And we're going to pay him because we believe in paying the players here on this channel. And we're excited to do it. And these businesses are going to get some awesome exposure as a result of that. And we're happy to do that as well. And hopefully it benefits the channel, but at the end of the day, hopefully this is the kind of stuff that you guys are going to enjoy because it's going to be live. We're excited about that. So you probably get to ask Tucker some questions, maybe in a super chat setting. I don't know what he can answer or can't speak for him, but I have talked with him about it. And we basically just discussed, he might have to talk around some stuff, right? Obviously, certain questions you can't answer.
Absolutely, yeah, no doubt.
But I'm sure pretty any basic questions about the team and stuff he can answer. And then lastly, it's going to be the 13th. Is the preliminary date that could change. So he's agreed to it. I texted him earlier. He agreed. The 13th was okay. And then I coordinated with Couz on that, and we got it scheduled.
Yep. So we're very excited about it. I was thinking, it will be the first current player we've interviewed on this show. So we've interviewed some current player. Yeah, we've interviewed some former players, but first current player we will have interviewed on this show. So we're very excited about it. Tucker, look, he has NBA pedigree. He could potentially end up in the NBA at some point. So we're excited to have this very talented young man, and obviously we're excited to have him coming to Morgantown to play first and foremost. But we're also extremely excited to have him on the show and honored to be able to have him. Him and the DeVries family trusts us enough to do this. So,
yeah, we're stoked about it, man. We really are. And listen, guys, in my, I don't want to pump him up too much here, but in my interaction with Zucker, he is so down to earth, guys. He really is. And he is extremely humble, which is not a surprise based on where he's at in life. He's very understated. I was surprised. So, which Couz made the point, he actually kind of looks like he would be. You can just kind of tell by his body language that he's not that he's not assertive on the floor or anything like that. Just in general, on the phone with me, he seems a little understated and kind of shy almost.
Yeah. So it's y'all be on the lookout. Mark your calendars. May 13th. May 13th, we'll have Tucker DeVries here on the show. Don't have the time nailed down yet. It'll be sometime in the evening. I didn't want to interfere with work, so I made sure and I'm sure Tucker's busy too, and Paul is busy. So evening time seems to be the best to do these kind of things. So that's when we're going to nail it down sometime that evening. But we'll keep everybody posted on it for sure. I've been trying to figure out how to make some of you guys. I know I've been wanting to make some of y'all moderators, and I don't know if you do a live stream just strictly through YouTube and don't use StreamYard. All you have to do is right click their name and say make them a moderator, and it does it. StreamYard doesn't give you that option, so it's extremely hard to make somebody a moderator with StreamYard. The only way you can do it is to go to their YouTube account, find it, copy it, and paste it onto your page for all your moderators. And most of you, your names aren't popping up, so I don't know what I don't know what to do about making you all moderators. So I have to figure that out. Just to let y'all know, we are trying to do that. I just haven't been able to figure it out.
So what do we need to type in to find them, Couz?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're probably going to have to. What we're probably going to have to do is go to an old video, find some. We can't do this during the show. But go back to some old videos that we've done, old episodes or former episodes.
You just click on the profiles.
Find their comments and see if we can do it that way. Maybe.
So right now, if you want to be a moderator, in all caps, really big, after the show, leave a comment. I'll pin a comment to maybe remind you. Say I want to be a moderator, or just type moderator really big, and I'll send those to Couz.
I'm not sure why it's so hard, but nonetheless, it is.
You can do it now, but I can't ever find the live chat after the show very easily. It's kind of like it's a lot to scroll through. So try to do it after the show's over in the comment section if you can.
Yeah, great answer. By the way, got to give a shout out to Ear Val, who left us a $5.
Oh yeah.
Super thanks on a previous video. Said hated to miss this live show. Great job. Thanks for a great job as always. So thanks to Ear Val for that. Here we go. Let me see if I can. I found one of their names here. Let me see what I can do here. Copy. Well, let me copy it. I don't know if it'll let me copy it. Anyway, we'll have to figure it out after the show. I'm trying to do it during the show, but it's not letting me.
Right.
There we go.
Yes, Mark, that's what we mean.
All right, Timothy Green, you should now be a moderator. Let's see if it worked. Type a comment and see if you have a wrench beside your name. I know this is not very professional, but who cares?
Lotzel Barnes wants to be, seems like.
Gotcha. Drum Wolf.
Civil Marks wants to be, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was looking for his earlier as well. Timothy may have had to jump off. I don't know. But I ran across his comment pretty quick.
Well, Timothy hadn't missed a show.
Right.
He's one of those guys. A lot of you guys. I mean, truthfully, none of you guys do. Our regulars, and I really appreciate that. it's nice to have you guys to interact with.
Absolutely.
Really, truly is.
It's unbelievable how loyal you all are to the show. We couldn't thank you enough, really. Could not thank you enough. But anyway,
There it is.
there it is. There's
Tim, the moderator.
Yep, good job. All right, I
Tim.
finally figured that one out. Now I just got to figure out the rest of them.
Now you can make your YouTube channel, Tim, called Tim the Moderator. And you just give everybody moderating tips.
But anyway,
Make it a comedy.
Shannon says he probably needs to be moderated today. Why you say that, Shannon? Have you been naughty in the chat? Just checked in and love your portal news. Why is it a West Virginia thing that we bust our ass to get into the top 25? In baseball, then get swept at T-Tech. Why does it seem to be our thing? Hey, man, life of a West Virginia fan, right? Isn't that how it works? Can't have anything nice, right?
Yep.
Yes, it's a Monday evening show, Mark. Absolutely. They said they want recurring Tucker segments. Well, I'm not sure we can afford that. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, he may do it. It's something that we'll try to work on it. He's a really good guy, y'all.
He is. He is. But look, he's going to be in college. He's going to be in, he has class time, study time. Plus, he's going to be playing basketball, and I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure he's got a girlfriend, so I'm sure he's going to be a busy guy. But who knows? It doesn't hurt to ask the question, I guess.
Ask the question.
Timothy says his first tip is don't come on here and be a smartass. It's a good tip, Timothy. Oh man!
All right, Couz, you want to get to the draft?
Yeah, I guess we better. Let's go check it out and see if Zach gets drafted.
All right.
Thank you all for hopping on here. Thanks for the support. Hopefully we'll have more of y'all moderators by the time we do this again.
Yep.
Like, share, comment, subscribe on the way out. And if you're watching on the replay, we're done.
Later, y'all.